So first I made the big 3-in-1 beer can hat tutorial with all the fun extras. Then I realized I'm a super nerd and chopped them up into a shorter, down and dirty, just the basics video, which is doing great, by the way. So it seems I need a good basic beer can hat tutorial that is just one hat, start to finish. Yes, that sounds pretty obvious, but you gotta think like a super nerd. Anyway, for this new basics tutorial, I tried to improve on my previous bucket hat design with a more shaped top and a slightly stiffer brim. And I've added a few crochet tips for you as well. As usual, see the description for links to my blog tutorial and a complete pattern in my shop. Okay, you will need some worsted weight acrylic yarn, regular old utility scissors will be fine, a size I crochet hook, and a paper hole punch. And you'll need 6 can labels total. Here I will go over the basics kind of briefly. For more detailed instructions, see my 3-in-1 tutorial. Cut 6 can labels into 3-inch squares. Round the corners and smooth the edges. Now punch 4 holes on each side. Yay, crochet time. Okay, work 3 single crochets per hole and 5 per corner. While you're working, try to hold your hook parallel to the label edge to make sure that the legs of the stitch reach the edge properly. Man, these would have looked really great in black yarn, but then you wouldn't be able to see any of the stitches. So that's the closest I had. Oh well. Looks all right. Work a second round of single crochet with 3 in the corners. Hold 2 labels back to back, line up the stitches, and single crochet through both layers all the way across. Repeat with all the labels until you have a crown. You should work the seams each in the same direction, and also double check each time that your labels are pointed the same way, because I make that mistake a lot. will tighten up the top edge just like we did for the fez by decreasing on both sides of the seams. So single crochet around, and when you get to a seam, work 2 together into the 2 stitches before the seam. And here you see I'm actually doing 3 together so that I can integrate the seam into the stitch. And then 2 together in the 2 stitches after the seam. And then continue with the single crochets until you get to the next seam. I like to cover my thread ends as I go by laying them on the stitches of the previous row and then just crocheting right over them. For the bottom edge, just work straight singles. We are using the same exact top from part 2 of my 3-in-1 tutorial for the tighter fezzy shape. That's starting with 12 doubles into a ring, and then we're going to alternate singles and doubles for each round. For round 2, work 2 singles into each stitch. Increase as a normal flat round, adding 1 stitch between increases for each round. So round 3 is 1 double between increases, and continue that way until you get to round 6. For round 6, work double crochets, and that should be 4 doubles between the increases, and then tie it off. These cans are great. Join the top to the crown by lining up the stitches and single crochet through both layers all the way around. First, we'll add a band by working a round of straight doubles and then a round of singles. This bucket brim will be a little different than the last one. We will alternate doubles and singles this time. Adding 1 stitch between increases, but just for the double crochet rounds. So round 1 is 6 double crochet between the increases. And round 2 is straight singles. Round 3 is 7 doubles between the increases. Now, to help round out the brim shape and avoid those little angles you get from showing, the increases, this is what we'll do for round 3. Start out the round by counting half of the stitches that are between the increases for that round, and then increase there. And then count as usual. So that'll put your increases kind of in between each other. For round 4 and round 5, work straight single crochet. To change colors, work your last stitch until 2 loops are on the hook and then pull through the new color. I don't even tie them together. I just hold the ends until I pull another loop, and that locks them in place just fine. Then work your stitches over the ends like I talked about before. There you go. Pretty sweet. I like this type of brim because it can bend this way or that way, fedora style or bowler brim or what have you. It's a pretty good one if you ask me. Enjoy it. Hey, tag me on Instagram with your beer can hat pics, man. At Bohemian Mermaid. I'll see you in the next one. Hi, Ron. What are you doing, Ron? Ron? Hi, Ron. Little muffin? What's my little guy doing? Oh, you sweet boy, come here. Look at me. Hey.